Are we ready?
We're ready.
All right. Dad jeans. Dad jeans.
That's all you need to do.
This is what you've taught me,
That's
Jeffrey.
what singing is. You just go for it.
You just open your mouth and let the shit fly out.
Yes. And all dancing is just fucking going for it too.
Yes. Right. You can't do it halfway. It's like sing-alongs and skiing.
Yeah, all of that. And making love.
And making love. If you do it halfway, well, halfway making love is still kind of hot, but everything else is good, all fucked up.
Have you ever seen the like modern stabilized videos of that of the famous Sasquatch sighting?
No.
People have like stabilized it.
I love it when they do that.
And it is so clearly a person in a costume.
Have you seen the Stabilize Zapruder film?
Yes, that's amazing.
That is some fudged up mother fudging bull schmack.
Oh yeah, he was the CIA took that guy down, man.
They took him down.
Yeah.
That was really something else.
Yeah.
Yikes-a-roo. I mean, if you're wondering if JFK was shot, he was shot.
Yes, we're revealing it. We have news. We have breaking news.
Oh,
JFK was shot.
Was shot somewhere near Dealey Plaza.
So that's what they've said.
Yeah.
And he is coming back. No, he's not. His son is coming back.
Right, because his son loves Donald Trump so much.
I mean, it's absurd to think that JFK would come back.
He'd be 104?
Yeah,
I believe. So that'd be a little bit tricky. But you never know. There's the JFK, the Kennedy boys.
These guys.
Us Irish
they're
people.
Resilient.
Yeah, we don't have any diseases running through our culture at all. we all live a really long time.
Not at all, as Ted Kennedy proved.
Yeah, God rest his soul.
Yes.
Did I ever tell you about the time Ted Kennedy came to my house?
No, but let me say this. You were telling the story last week about your dad, the milkman, watching Bobby Kennedy drop kick his child over a hedge.
Yeah.
And listeners, if you haven't heard that one, go back.
Yeah, tune in.
You got to hear this story. But is this a Boston thing? Like does everyone have their connection to the Kennedys? It's
I'm sure.
It's like Elvis in Memphis. Like everyone has their Elvis story. Everyone has their Kennedy story.
Definitely. Oh, I think so. Yeah, if you were in the peanut butter aisle or the banana aisle or the canola oil aisle, you were definitely going to run into Elvis.
Okay.
Getting ready to make one of his sandwiches.
That's probably true. TCV.
That was 365, baby.
TCV right there. His banana ass sandwich.
Those things are delicious. I had one for lunch the other day. It's peanut butter and banana, but here's what Elvis did. He fried them. He fried those fuckers.
Of course. I mean, if you've got the money to afford a deep fryer, why wouldn't you fry everything?
Exactly. I've been to Graceland.
What wouldn't you fry?
I think he had a
Greaseland?
deep fryer. Greaseland.
Is that what they call it?
Welcome
to Greaseland.
I think he had a deep fryer on his airplane.
Yeah, I'm sure. It was like half the airplane. It was like, oh, we can't fit a bed in here, baby, because I got to put my deep fryer on so I can fry up a horse on the way to the next show.
My horse. He had this. Have you ever been to Graceland?
I think I told this on the air one time. When I was in college, we took a road trip. Me and my friends decided we were going to drive from Michigan down to the tip of Louisiana, which is way down there. But on the way down, we were going to stop in Graceland, and we stopped, and Graceland was closed.
Say it ain't so.
It was so upsetting.
Oh, God
so we got to
damn it.
stand outside of Graceland and peer at it.
That's not okay.
It's not okay, and it's still a lifelong mission. I want to go.
I'm going to say this. I know as a teen you saw Rattle and Hum like I did.
Of course.
And you watched as Adam Clayton Powell.
Adam Powell Clayton.
Powell Clayton.
Yeah.
First he led a slave rebellion, and then he was the drummer for U2.
Yes, exactly.
And he, burst into tears.
Yes.
Talking about Elvis.
Grave.
At Elvis's grave, and they're standing at Elvis's grave.
And this was post-Spinal Tap, too, which is funny.
It was really funny. And they didn't do a callback. Since my baby left me.
Since my baby left me. Sounds like fucking Barbershop Raga.
Okay. That's Raga.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you think like it's going to be a religious experience because Adam Clayton cried and what have you,
right?
But then you go, Jeff.
Yeah, it's a sacrilegious experience.
I would more call it a sacrilege. It is
but
sort
what
of
an experience.
Well, you know how Howell.
It's like going to the Madonna Inn, right?
It's exactly like going like to. It's precisely 100%. If you've been to the Madonna Inn, you've been to Graceland. He has he has a round white fur bed with an embedded stereo amp that he can just reach up during flagrante delicto and change the radio station.
Oh, baby.
It's embedded in the canopy. It's
God.
round, and then it has this like helmet hood. It looks like a big football helmet, but it's white fur.
Yeah.
And then, it has the
Wow.
tuner in there.
Who has ever been in a bed and been like, I wish I didn't have a headboard. You know what I would like less of is a place to prop my body up in this bed.
Right.
Come on. Okay. Was that the? I feel like we got off path. Oh, Ted Kennedy
Oh, Ted Kennedy.
Yeah.
Came to my house.
at your house. Mm-hmm. Is delivering milk, returning the favor
He
from your dad.
I understand this milk found its way.
You never saw what Bobby did.
That's what it is exactly. So my stepfather was a man of influence in Boston.
Okay.
He was the editor of the editorial page of the Boston Globe.
Right. Okay. I recall that.
And he was on his deathbed in our living room.
Yeah.
And because he was a man of influence, Ted Kennedy was up the street in Dorchester dedicating something to it because his mom grew up around the corner.
Yeah.
And so he swung by, and he had just gotten married to his lovely wife, Vicky. They came in, sat down. We all sat in a circle together, and he held court for like 2.5 hours.
While you were there?
While I was there, yeah.
How
I was
old
there
were you?
I was a senior in high school.
Oh my gosh.
It was
so you were
insane.
fully cognizant.
Fully cognizant.
And was he a lovely man?
Lovely man, lovely.
No.
Spoke the entire time, like he monologued.
Okay.
He had been told, my stepfather at this point was very weak, and he had been told that he should do most of the talking, and so he did all of the talking.
Oh, wow.
But he was telling these amazing stories. He was like, mother, but he was referring to his mother,
Yeah.
Rose Kennedy,
Rose.
and saying things like, mother would remember tennis scores from 1938.
Wow.
Things like that, and brag about when she beat, et cetera, beat
Yeah, yeah.
young John. And there was one thing. And the entire time I was sitting there, and I was like, this guy's met JFK.
Yeah. More than met.
I mean, it was his brother.
Yeah.
But all I kept thinking like, and he's met Bobby also.
Right. Right.
That was the closest I could get.
And he drove a woman off a bridge.
There's
and
that.
Left her to die.
God bless him. I had a history teacher who thought that perhaps they were both tripping on LSD, and that's why he couldn't save her because he was tripping balls.
You drive much better when you're tripping balls.
Is that true? Have you ever done LSD?
So. I have.
I have not done LSD
In college. I haven't since college. I did it a couple times. It was good fun.
Was it? Should I do it?
It was great. Oh, it's great. Yes, you should do it. Well, you shouldn't do that. You should do mushrooms.
What if you do it? Well, I did do mushrooms. That was fucking crazy.
Oh, I think they're the same.
Are they the same?
It's just psilocybin.
It's just. Oh, really?
Or no, I guess lysergic acid. But I feel like the activated ingredient is psilocybin in both of them.
You don't say.
I believe so.
How do you know all this shit?
I know about drugs.
You know about drugs?
I dated a drug for a while, and the drug told me all about itself.
Oh, I see.
No, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I feel like I picked up a little bit about hallucinogenics in my life. I've done. I haven't done a lot of them, but I'm not that I've done something, but I've read the Michael Pollan book.
Oh, yes.
About drugs.
Have you done cocaine?
No, I've never done cocaine.
Neither have I.
I don't have an interest. It feels like something that would just make me feel ouchy.
I feel like you do cocaine and then you're inserting your penis into an exhaust pipe immediately.
Or you're just like you're just an asshole. It's like I don't need a drug to become an asshole. And then you just like feel you're sweating in your heart. I don't. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's wonderful. People love it. It's not an interest of mine. I definitely
People do seem to love it.
I definitely gravitate more towards the things that I feel are going to expand my consciousness in some way. I would say.
As opposed to expand your sense of your own power.
Yes, as opposed to like, I don't need to be a master of the universe.
God, it does sound nice though. As life kicks you more in the balls, I could picture Every day.
Every day.
I mean, I was already on top of the world when I did have the opportunity to do cocaine.
Yes.
So I was like, I'm already fucking kicking ass.
Oh, really?
Whereas now I feel like I've been punched in the nuts daily,
so you
hourly for
you might
years.
need that little pick me up.
So now, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Now I'm like a little pinch, a little micro with the coffee. You know what I mean? And I'd be like, let's hit those email listservs.
Yeah, I don't want to make the decision. Like if someone just slipped it to me, they'd be like, "Here, try this like tobacco snuff," and it was a big old poof of Coke instead. I'd be like, "Oh, that was wonderful," but I don't want to make the conscious decision to put something in my body that I feel I could like too much.
That makes a lot of sense.
You know,
do you remember that party where you and I were doing tobacco snuff?
Yes. Well, our friend Shay became a snuff head for a while.
So funny and weird.
There's this weird underground that he discovered where like there's all these different flavored kinds of snuff that you can buy, and like he people who are into snuff, they have like their snuff boxes, like they have collections of snuff. Like it's not like cigarettes where you go out and you buy like a pack of snuff. Like you it's like a wine, like you're a snuff connoisseur.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So this could be like, we could have a hookah bar, but it could be a snuff bar.
Yeah.
And on every table, there's just a box of tissues.
Something to sniff. Yeah. It seemed a little, it didn't blow my mind, the snuff that I snuffed.
No, nor did the snuff that I snuffed blow my mind.
I did not want to like develop a habit of it, but it was interesting.
It was interesting. I would call it equivalent to when you fly into Cusco, Peru. Everyone is allowed to eat 3 coca leaves to deal with the altitude.
Oh, so that's cocaine, isn't it?
Well, in its raw form, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, they have a bowl of coca leaves as you get off the plane, and everyone takes 3 and eats them.
How does it feel?
It feels like a cup of coffee.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah.
I'm kind of done with coffee too.
Really?
Yeah.
No, stimulants in general.
Makes me feel weird.
Interesting. Are you going straight edge on us?
No, hell no. I'm not straight edge. I'm definitely not straight edge.
You're just staying on the downer side of the court?
Yeah, I just like to get down. I don't like to get up anymore.
Get down, stay down.
I have a couple of things for the front matter.
Oh, yes, as do I.
First of all, I have a compunction.
I'm sorry to hear that.
So a couple of weeks ago, do we want to play Brian O. Perkinson's beautiful
Oh, I think we definitely should.
compunction theme songs?
Okay, both of them?
I mean, it's tradition now.
It is both. Okay. Here's number 1.
I'm so sorry, I was wrong, and here we are, Compunction Junction.
And here's number 2.
Wonderful.
Compunk yourself before you flunk yourself, before you dunk yourself, before you junk yourself. Compunk yourself before you gunk yourself. I'm sorry.
Do we need to? Maybe we should assign different names to them. So instead of number 1 and number 2,
The ballad and the dance bop.
yeah, could be. Sure, let's do it. One of them sounds like, or one of them's kind of like a sports jam, right? It's like a.
Oh, yeah. Compunk yourself before you funk yourself.
Yeah. You blocked yourself before you cracked yourself. Yeah. Oh,
I'm
so
sorry.
The audience just heard them, and
Now here we are.
about them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And listeners, if you ever would like to remix any of our theme songs or just come up with your own version,
my God,
we
yes,
would
please.
absolutely welcome it and
Do
incorporate
something
them.
fun. We need more listener created content.
Yes, I couldn't agree more.
We don't have enough. Well, we have no place to put it. Well, we do, but we just don't ever. Whatever. We're not getting into that right now. Our failings as podcast creators. But my compunction is that a couple weeks ago you were talking about Kyle Rittenhouse and
That little
yes,
fat
or we
fuck.
were both. Or I brought it up actually, and I said that I didn't see the chunky monkey. I didn't see him getting off. As leading to this like slew of vigilante killings,
right?
Any more so than there are already in America. Which I still sort of maintain that one, but I realize with this Roe versus Wade thing, what the problem is.
Oh yes,
Which is that now mass protest has this specter hanging over it, and like the idea that we're going to go out into the streets if Roe gets blocked or gets overturned, which it will like, why wouldn't it?
Right.
It will.
Inevitably.
Yes. And then that's where the carnage may happen.
Yeah.
And not either carnage will happen, the protests will go on and carnage will happen, or the protest won't go on because everyone's terrified of the carnage.
Oh, right. No, but it will go on because always there is bravery. And especially if it is a cause that is particularly visited upon by and fought for by the fairer sex.
Yes. Who are braver than...
Who are braver, exactly.
Yes.
There will be, unfortunately, it's sad to think about because they already live in a country that absolutely hates women.
Sure.
And now... it's open season on any protesters, thanks to thanks to Chunky Monkey.
No, I realized today on the way over here that the Republicans' entire philosophy is stop hitting yourself. That's what they're doing. They're putting us in the position where, like, they can claim, like, now there will be people out protesting and they can send people out to shoot them. And it's like, well, if you weren't protesting, so if you weren't rioting, then you wouldn't have gotten shot.
Yes.
They're like, it's like everything they do is stop hitting yourself.
Yes, exactly.
So that they can
right.
always claim the higher ground and the moral, we had to do it.
Yes, right, exactly. And they are capable of such intense mental jujitsu.
Yes.
It is amazing.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Yes.
They have room in their imaginations. I used to think that they had no imaginations, but they have much better imaginations than we do.
Oh, they're thinking 1,000 years in the future.
Yeah, because they are able to accommodate being Christian and also women who have come across the border getting forced hysterectomies as both being the same thing
In the same tradition, yes.
in their glorious American tradition of
Yes.
knowing what's right for everyone.
Yes, and protecting womb creatures, the sanctity of womb creatures, but not the sanctity of babies.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah,
Like
exactly.
That has there's no disconnect there. In their
No,
heads.
no, it's driving.
It all is fine.
It's driving the car off the lot. It's the exact same thing. It's how capitalism works.
Yeah.
You drive the baby off the lot, it loses all its value.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, I have one more quick front matter. Well, it's kind of a story. Do you want to do your front matter?
Yeah, I have a mini Spike Club that happened moments before you arrived.
Oh, okay. Do tell. Is it a wife tale?
Not a wife tale.
We have a new segment.
Oh, we have a new segment. It's very exciting, you guys.
Very exciting. Okay.
I was making a salad or something or soup, or I had about half an hour before you got here and we just got an Instant Pot. So I was like, I'll make
crackers?
a quick vegetable soup.
Yeah.
And I was peeling carrots into the compost. And Oscar was filling out some book, where he has to be like, how tall am I? How many freckles do I have?
Yeah.
All this kind of stuff.
All about me.
And yeah, that's the book.
Yeah,
You know what?
That's we do that book. That's what we do as children
Yeah.
in America.
Oh, right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so he's asking me questions. I'm trying to get a soup going in the Instant Pot before you get here.
Yeah.
And then I fucking vegetable peel
Your finger?
the tip of my finger off.
Oh, shut up.
Yeah.
What? Let me. What do you got
This
going
one
there?
right here? There's blood all over the kitchen,
Jiminy
all over
Christmas.
the bathroom.
Jiminy
It's
Christmas.
horrible. And here's my Spike
The
Club.
tip of your finger or the skin? The skin.
Oh,
off
just
of
the
your
skin. I mean, the skin of the tip off.
Okay, so it was just it'll grow back. You're not deformed. for
I'm not
life.
deformed,
Okay,
that I know of.
not that you know of. God, you've had some luck lately.
Tell me, then there's this thing, and
yeah.
no, it's awful. And this is my Spike Club, Jeff.
Yeah. Hands.
The amount of in fatherhood and family related injuries
Yeah.
that I sustain on a daily goddamn motherfucking basis.
You would
makes
classify
me-
that as a fatherhood related injury?
Well, before I became a dad,
yeah.
I lived a very comfortable life.
Yeah.
I didn't ever have Band-Aids in the house because I never needed them.
You had a video game system, if I recall,
Yeah, I did. I only had one game,
in your Hobbit house.
but it was worth it.
Was it Halo?
It was Halo 2.
Halo 2.
Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah, that's a different Brendan than I know.
Yeah, and I just like my movements were entirely my own. I was never bending over to pick something up that I hadn't put there.
Yeah.
Like I was never being a goalie. I was never answering questions and rushing. I was just always like, I just got home. I think there's still a beer in the fridge.
Right.
I'll drink it.
Yeah.
Then I'll play video game. And I have all the time in the world to do that.
Yeah.
Look, I love being a dad. take a bullet for everything, etc.
All of it. Yeah.
All of it.
Yeah.
But the injuries that I get daily, like the almost, I would say almost serious injuries.
Yeah.
I have gone to the hospital a number of times because these fucking injuries I get because of family and fatherhood obligations.
Trying to do your job.
Trying to do it, every time I have a friend who becomes a dad, I send him knee pads.
Oh, that's a great present, actually.
Yeah, because your relationship to the floor is going to be very different.
Yeah, it's so true. The other night, Eli wanted to play soccer with me. We got grass. Oh, we have to have you guys over for a dinner party.
I'd love that.
Would you do that?
Big time.
Okay, we need to have need to socialize because we have a socializing space now in our backyard.
Excellent.
And we put in just a little patch of grass in the backyard.
Mm-hmm. All you need.
That's all you need. It's a little patch. It's enough. It's a patch.
It's enough.
So the kids have taken to like playing soccer, just like trying to, one of them plays goalie and the other one tries to kick a ball past them.
Awesome.
Yeah. They're moving for the first time. We used to have a trampoline, and that thing after a while, it just got misused, and they're so ugly, and they just start falling apart.
No one has been in our trampoline for months.
Yeah.
We inherited it from the
I dismantled
owners.
mine and put it out front, and wouldn't you know it, all of the not the steel, but the aluminum was taken.
Oh, but they left everything else?
Of course.
Oh, that's annoying.
Yeah. But anyway, so, I mean, who cares? I was getting rid of it anyway. But yeah, so Eli asked me if I want to come out and play soccer with him the other night. And I was so exhausted because I got zero sleep the night before. And I went running that morning. And now, like, after I run, I'm just like stiff for like the entire day. Mm-hmm. And I was trying to play soccer with him. I'm just like, like I couldn't even move my body.
Yeah.
I'm like, this sucks, man.
Yeah.
Like I need to get into yoga or something. I can't even
I know.
move my body
I know.
anymore.
And you got to do hot yoga because it's not like you can stretch like a normal person, right?
No, well, not currently.
Hot yoga gave me my hernia. That's the only problem.
I don't trust the hot yoga. Can't you, if you just do regular yoga, don't you get limber?
Yeah, you get limber.
And Kabbalah, don't you have to do a little Kabbalah with that?
That's the
what Madonna did
red
too?
string bracelet of Madonna, right?
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
You got to do
the mystics.
Yoga and Kabbalah. That's how you keep in shape.
Kinship Yoga is over in Highland Park on Figueroa, and they have this fucking book called The Real Dr. Fauci in their window, and they're a bunch of anti-vaxxers. And so I was like, fuck you guys. And so I got on the Yelp and I was like, it is the height of privilege for rich California hippie dum-dums to have like a blog level sophistication about science.
Yeah.
And decide to spread their filth and infect everyone around them because they saw some friend of theirs who has like a recurring role on a procedurals Instagram post about some bullshit.
Right. Yes.
And it's just a bunch of California fucking hippies talking to each other.
Yes.
Not a doctor or scientist among them.
None.
And these guys have the unmitigated gall to spread this poison in the community. So I was like, nope, I'm going to Yelp the shit out of you.
Wow. Have you checked back? Has anyone...
I'm dying for their answer, but I haven't seen anything. I check every hour.
Oh, really? But it's still there?
It's still there.
It's still up?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's good.
Although
Usually,
Yelp may do a thing where they let me see it and it's gone.
Yes, Yelp kills shit for you.
Yeah.
They're like the mafia of review sites.
If you do that to someone on a Facebook thread, they don't know they've been sort of banned, but they go to the Facebook thread where they're causing all the trouble, and it still looks like they can do that.
Yeah. Right. So that they keep you out of their little web.
Yeah, shadow ban.
Yeah,
it's a shadow ban.
Fuck those guys.
Yeah.
I've been shadow banned on everything. That's why no one ever likes anything.
Your Twitter is so glorious.
No one ever likes it.
I don't understand.
It's
so
terrible.
Fucking funny.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. I had one tonight that I shouldn't even tell it. It's horrible. I'll tell you off air. Okay. I think actually, so my second front matter sort of flows into our new segment. So can we move into our new segment?
1, 2, 3.
yeah.
White tail. I'm gonna talk about my wife. You gonna talk about your wife? White tail. And then your boy gonna make it all better.
Let's roll, baby. That was flight 97 or whatever. Isn't that what they
Let's
said?
roll. Flight 93.
Flight 93.
I think about the guy who said let's roll all the time, and those people in general, and the fact that they were boiling water and all that kind of stuff, and just the
They're
bravery.
boiling water?
Yeah, the stewardesses were boiling water. They could because they
splash
could make
in
coffee. Yeah,
people's
to
faces?
throw. Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Yeah, and they just had the whole.
Never
and
saw that movie.
It's really good.
I've heard it's good.
Greengrass.
Yeah.
He can make a movie like that.
What else has he done?
Other movie. Name another disaster that was horrible that then a movie got made out of it.
Well, he didn't make Zero Dark 30, but he makes movies like that, right?
Like that. I think
it's
I
that.
think he made the Captain one with Tom Hanks.
Oh, I heard. Oh, did I see that? Yeah, that was pretty good, right?
Yeah,
That was
if it's
good,
been
too.
ripped from the headlines,
Yeah.
Paul Greengrass is going to make a feature out of it.
Huh. I like it. I like people with a thing.
Yeah.
So my wife tale, Brendan.
Oh, bring it.
I have a couple. Like I was inspired by one thing on this. The thing that inspired me to create this, and this is a segment where we just talk about our wives.
Oh yeah, right. We should say what it is.
Yeah, and we're probably going to get this is going to get us shadow banned from the bedroom. This segment
From our own marriages.
I'm afraid.
We think we're still in our marriages, except everyone else knows we're
Everyone
not in
else
our marriage anymore.
Is quite aware. Yeah. We just don't even notice that they're gone for like weeks. No, that's not No, that's not true. The second Sarah was gone, everything would fall apart in our household.
And same.
Yeah. So I will kiss her ass before I
But in the metaverse,
tear her down.
people will do soft divorces where they left you like 4 or 5 years ago, but you're still living your Matrix life, where you get in bed every night and you're like,
Oh,
yeah.
interesting.
Didn't you like
They're
this?
just going to poof out a different avatar to like hang out with you. And
Yeah,
you won't even know.
Exactly.
I love that. It's like reverse catfishing.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like throwing the cat back, throwing the fish back. Catch and release.
Yeah.
That's what it is. So my thing that inspired this was that the other day I had like a few different occasions to talk to Sarah, and normally it's hard to fit that into our life. You know, we're just like we're both working in the same fucking house, and we don't even talk to each other all day. You know, like she's in her room, she's got clients that she's talking to. I'm in my room doing meetings and doing my work and stuff like that. We'll like meet and have a salad at lunch sometimes, but like that's not even guaranteed. Like there are days when we go from like 8 a.m. until 6 p.m. without saying anything, and we're like feet away from each other the entire time.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. But so I had occasion to talk to her about it the other day, and I just like everything in all of the conversations was taking care of business. Like it was all just and much of it was like plans, like talking about plans, like if
Logistics.
it was logistics, yes, if it wasn't something that needed to be done like then, or that we were planning on doing, it was like a future state that we could be in someday. And I tire of it, man. I can't live in the future all the time.
Yeah.
It's hard to do. Is that a male-female dynamic, do you think?
That is a great question, because I often think of my wife as Larry Bird, because legend had it that Larry Bird could sort of see 5 minutes down the game, like into the game, 5 minutes ahead,
Okay.
or something like that. Like he just had this like prescient way of playing basketball.
Sure.
She's always seeing over the horizon, Emily,
Yeah.
and always knowing what we should probably start preparing for. She knows when it's going to rain
Okay.
and what is out that needs to get put in.
Right.
She knows everything. And I am like in a reactive state about everything at all times. So is it a male female thing? I don't know.
It is in
From a
your
sample
relationship.
size of our two marriages,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. But like, what about like does your wife take pleasure in talking about plans? Like, I feel like that's Sarah enjoys that. It like makes her feel taken care of, or it makes her feel like in control
Oh yeah.
to have a plan.
Yes.
And
yeah.
I feel like I don't feel like any more in control when I have a plan, because I'm always like, well, that plan's gonna fucking go awry.
We can try to plan, but why would we do that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It does not calm my nerves at all to like have a plan. Now it's just an obligation, because now it's like a thing. Like I like to just like set out into the world and see what I'm greeted with, you know?
Yeah, follow your nose.
Yeah.
Have an adventure.
I do enjoy that. And you don't get to do that as
improvise.
a parent.
Well, sometimes you can, like, if you're traveling and be like, guys, we're just going to leave the house and see what happens. We do that now and then, and it works out great. And like we get very lucky. We luck out sometimes when we do that.
We need to do more of that. I feel like I have a hard time. It's hard to get there with, like, I feel like I just have to be like, Sarah, trust me. Like, release all, because I feel like the minute I'm like, let's do something spontaneous today, it's like, okay, what are we gonna do?
Right.
You know, and I'm like,
you just got to leave the house. And you could say, like, kids, we're going to take turns. Someone say, take a right or a left. Now, next kid, right or left. Now, Sarah, take a right or a left.
That's super fun. I love that. I'm into that.
And then you never know. You end up at Dorathian Ranch.
Yeah, you might end up there. I went to a funeral at Dorathian Ranch about a month ago.
Do they rent themselves out for funerals?
It was like there was a group of people I sort of saw behind the curtain at Dorathian Ranch who like were regulars there. They would like go up there and play music and stuff. And it was my my mom's cousin's or my grandma's cousin's son, who I didn't really know, but he lived in California and I know his mom pretty well.
He's your second cousin once removed.
Okay, there you go. You're better with these things than I am. I'm no math whiz, my friend. But yeah, they had a little hootenanny for him up there at Dorathian Ranch.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah,
that place is
pretty cool.
For listeners, this is a place that's actually near Jeff's house, up the hill from him. That is just this like metallurgic junkyard. It's like Tom Waits' imagination exploded onto a mountainside.
That's a great way of putting it. Yeah, it's like it's an old artist colony, and they still there. It still is, I guess. But like I never just know. Like you can just walk up there. Like I don't know what's going on there.
Oscar and I went once. We
went with you. You went with us.
Well, we went with you. But then we went back.
Yeah. Oh, you went back.
A couple of years later, we drove up there because I was like, because it was a day we didn't have anything to do, and I was like, let's go to Dorathian Ranch.
That feels like it's going to fall.
That you're definitely going to die on that bridge.
Someone will die on that bridge.
And we got up there and we started walking around, and someone came up to us and they're like, "Can I help you?" And I was like, "Oh, this is Dorathian Ranch, right? I thought we'd go look at the stuff and the sculptures and everything." And they're like, "Oh, we have an open house like once a year."
Oh, really?
Yeah, but they were like, "But otherwise, it's just." Well, we live here, so.
Oh, really?
And they were cool. They were like, "But walk around, bro," because they're hippies anyway. But they made it clear that it's not a place you can just go whenever you want.
How would you know that, though? It's just open.
It's just and it's full of psychotic weirdness.
Yeah, exactly. Wow, how cool. So did you see anyone else or just that person?
It was there would be like often the curly-haired person who's wearing a furry vest and nothing else, who's got paint all over their face, and they're like,
that's interesting.
Hey.
I'd like to see that side of it. I feel like I've only seen it when it doesn't seem like anything's going on. And I'm like, this seems to be an abandoned place.
Right.
Yeah.
But they have their little artist studios. It makes me wish I was a visual artist so that I could get a studio
things make
there.
me wish that.
Yeah, they're the cool ones.
Yeah. And something else that makes me wish that is my second story for Wive Tales.
Oh, bring it.
If I can just leap into it.
Of course.
So last night, this is going to be a long-winded Wive Tale. But last night, we went to this thing called the Scribble Showdown, which is, my kids are into like these YouTube animators. There's one called Jaden Animations, and there's another one called Odd Ones Out, and they just do these like goofy like web cartoons, and they're like very like they're autobiographical. They just like tell stories from their lives and they animate them, and they're very cute and like kid friendly and everything. So two of these animators and two other animators were coming to the Ace Theater downtown last night.
Oh, they're very popular.
They're very popular.
That place is huge.
Yeah. It's like, they're like several million followers, these people.
Oh my God.
They did this thing called the Scribble Showdown, which was a game show with 4 animators, and they'd have like different rounds. So like the first round was they were all given a random doodle and they had to turn it into a bird. And so then we'd watch them like drawing in real time, and they had to do it in like 3 minutes. Yeah, it was a really cool concept, and it was like it was mildly entertaining, but like for the kids it was amazing. You know, it was like their version of like when I would go to Stars on Ice or whatever, you know, Ice Capades.
Muppet Babies on Ice.
Muppet Babies on Ice, yeah. The giant people in giant Muppet Baby costumes, like the most hideous thing you've ever seen in your life. Freakish.
And then there's some weird accident, but you can't see them in there, but you're going to see that like Scooter suddenly has a bunch of blood coming from his like wrists and neck.
The head like falling off at an angle.
And they just all stop skating.
I don't know what happened in your childhood, but
terrible things.
It sounds like nightmarish. So we got them tickets a while ago, and these tickets weren't cheap. I mean, they were like, you know, $75 a pop or something like that.
For fuck's sake.
Yeah, but the kids really wanted to go, and we're like, all right, we don't ever, you know, we've literally never taken them to anything. Like nothing, no, like, yeah, I've taken Hazel to a couple of plays, but like this is a very rare occurrence that they want to go out and see something, you know? So we're like, yes, that's awesome. Like you want to do something. We encourage you to have interests. Let's go. So we get these tickets. And then yesterday, the night before, I wake up in a cold sweat thinking, oh shit, are they going to have to show proof of vaccination? Because my kids both have their first shot, but they haven't gotten their second shot yet.
I see.
And we don't believe in the second shot. We're
you motherfuckers.
We're only anti-vaxxers for the second shot.
Anti-half-vaxxers.
Yeah, exactly. The vax is half empty in our house. So we have this. We all we have is a vaccine card. They get tested once a week at school, but last week was Thanksgiving, and you need to present a test that is that's within 72 hours of the event or your vaccine card. So yesterday morning, I'm like, fuck, do you think we can just get away with showing them the half-vaxxed card and that'll be enough? And Sarah's like, I don't know, like, let's call the venue. So she calls the venue at 8. They're like, they'll be back at 9. Call at 9. Call at 9. No one answers. Get an email address. Sarah emails them. So then like the kids are at school and we're like watching the clock go around. And we get an email back and the woman's like, nope, they need to be fully vaxxed or they have to have a test that's
This
within
is a show for
72
kids,
hours.
though?
This is a show for kids.
How the fuck is are any kids fully vaxxed? Oscar got there on the first day and he's still not fully vaxxed.
It was mostly, so shockingly, there are a ton of like adults there. It was like people in their 20s to 30s, like animation nerds. There's a lot of those.
Interesting.
A lot of kids, but like not fully. It wasn't like, you know, whatever. It wasn't like Gabba Gabba Live or anything.
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
or Wow in the World. Or something.
Yeah. It was like it was kid friendly, but not for kids.
Understood.
Anyway, so then I have to take them to the Rose Bowl to get this to get a rapid test, which costs $120 a pop.
Oh, that's bullshit.
It's total bullshit. I'm hoping I can get my insurance to cover it, but you know, I'm sure it's all these. They're gonna talk. I did something wrong. I'm sure.
I'm sure
for insurance, they're gonna reject it. Anyway, so we're out these $75 tickets for the whole family, 75 each. You know, $120 for this thing. We go to this thing and like there's parking, which is $30. Then there's merch. We're like, well, okay, we'll buy you some merch. And it just ends up being like this hideously overpriced evening.
Oh, my God.
But anyway, so we're telling this story to a friend tonight. And I was going to talk about how, you know, we got this. Oh, okay. And then the conclusion to the story is that we show up at the place and they barely look at our fucking vax things.
Of course.
And I'm like, we could have totally shown them our little anti-vax cards. So there was a friend who stopped by tonight. Oh, Michaela Block.
Hey, Michaela.
Our old friend Michaela Block. And I'm telling her this story about how we got these, like, you know, had to get these vaccines. And I'm like, this is going to be like a funny, self-deprecating story. And then Sarah, at the end of the story, she's like, yeah, I wouldn't have had them get the vaccines. Get the test. The only reason I did it was because of you. And like we have this little like friendly, you know, fun fight back and forth, and I'm like, well, why didn't you tell me that? And she's like, well, I know you're just not going to listen to me or something like that. I know you're a rule follower, whatever. We have this whole thing, but I realized like my where I wanted to go with it was turn it into this self-deprecating story about how we spent too much money, and like, because I'm a rule follower and like I'm okay with that, I embrace that side of me, and like, oh, what do you know, like we didn't need to spend all this money, but like silly me, I just have to do it,
Mm-hmm.
and then and she like wants to put it on me because she doesn't want to look stupid, and I just realized that my wife does not think self-deprecation is funny.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Interesting. At all? Like, does she even recognize it as a form of humor?
I tried to think about think back about times when I've seen her be self-deprecatory, and I don't know if she does.
Wow, that is interesting. There are people in the world who just won't do that.
Yeah, yeah. And
there-
she's not bravado. She doesn't put on airs.
Oh no, sure.
But like, I just don't think like that's she doesn't get humor out of that, out of lowering herself.
I think you just found the human binary, because
Yes.
Emily and I talk about this all the time. She and I both try and deprecate ourselves around others, around other parents or something like that, or to even deprecate Oscar around other parents.
Yeah.
And then and it falls flat about half the time. Half the people are like, well, I don't know why you would say something like that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
that
And-
makes me not trust you. That makes me
Right.
suspicious of
Well,
you.
I don't think it's that bad at all.
Right.
And then other people are like, oh yeah, and then
Yeah.
one up you, and then they know what the game is, and then like they are hip to the cause.
Sure.
But like the people who literally don't recognize self-deprecation as a form of humor, and
Yeah.
instead are just sort of befuddled,
Yeah.
walk among us.
Yeah.
Are you
No,
saying that Sarah's one of these people?
Sarah's not one of those people. I think she can have a good laugh at my expense. I just think, I'll have to start paying attention now. Like because I was thinking about it tonight, and like there can be too much, obviously. Like you don't want to. Sometimes people who are so self-deprecatory, you're like, oh, that's just sad.
Oh, right.
Like I find in like heavy people a lot of times will be very like, I'm just some fat guy, and you're just like,
You're like,
you've said that a couple times too often.
oh, yes.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like I don't think I like to go there, but I like having a good laugh at myself when I do something idiotic.
Yeah, you want to do the Hugh Grant version of self-deprecation.
Yeah.
It seems as wholesome,
When he
knows a
got
little bit more about saddles than I do.
when he got a blowjob from Coco Brown. That was,
Yeah, and it's like
he was so charming. He
Right.
charmed his way out of that.
Yeah.
Why do I know her name is Coco Brown?
That's amazing that you do.
The recall on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to look it up afterwards. I hope I'm not creaking too much. I'm sorry. I'm moving
No,
around.
no,
in
no,
my
no.
chair.
You never creak too much.
But yeah, that's curious. So that's another wife tale from me.
Interesting. Did you feel derailed or thrown under the bus? You would finish this funny story and then
Yeah.
it turned into a thing where it's like, oh.
Yeah, because like self-deprecation is fun when you're all playing along, but it's not fun when it's like, ha, I'm such an asshole, and like the other person is like, yeah, you're the asshole.
Yeah, right, exactly.
You're just
Oh,
like, wait,
that's
no.
a pig pile. We have an anti-pig pile policy.
Oh, pig. Do tell.
So we came. There are a couple of terms we invented, terms of art we invented, Emily
Yeah.
and I, around raising Oscar. One was big timing, and the other was pig piling.
Okay.
Pig piling is more with each other, but in any case, and big timing is when kids will just rank on each other and brag and make
Sure.
them puff themselves up at the expense of the others. That's
Yeah.
that's big timing, and we're
Okay.
like, we do not big time. We're not big timers in this family.
Oh, okay.
I remind Oscar.
Keep your ego in check.
Yeah, and don't be like, I have 2 of those cars, you know what I mean? And like,
Right.
well, I just have this broken one, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
But the other one is pig piling, where someone says, I guess I really blew that. And they're like, yeah, you kind of did Roger that one. And you're like, whoa. That's a pig pile. You don't pig
Oh,
pile.
interesting.
I am the one who's doing the growing here. I don't need your help to grow.
Oh wow. So what's your response to
Because
that?
I stopped growing the
I
moment
screwed that
someone
one
else.
up.
I screwed that one up, and they're like, hey, you'll get him next time.
Oh, okay. All right. I forgive you.
Or something. Or I'll be
Yeah.
like, yeah, it does suck. Instead of being like, well,
That's empathy.
here's the solution. Be a different, better person.
Right.
It's just empathize and or something like that. Unless it's part of the joke. Unless
Sure.
it's like, yeah, you really fucked the dog on that one.
Yeah.
And it's funny. But if
Yeah.
it isn't funny and you're just driving the screw, then it's not allowed.
I think there are a lot of people, and this is not a wive tale. This is not Sarah, but I think there are a lot of people who are just waiting for you to express weakness so that they can just jump in there.
Right.
And they can be like, haha, he's weak.
That's I think that's a uniquely American thing. We all came to this oil rig, and some of us are going to fall off the side.
Sure, right. Like in other countries, because they have, my ultimate theory, because they have a king or they have royalty, they know they can never be royalty. So then everyone is just like taking the piss. It's like, it's like you're like, damn, you're like, you're at the bottom of the pile, and then you can have fun there.
Yes,
it's
funny. I've been similar to that. I've been watching a lot of independent motion pictures lately to sort of bone up on it. Ooh. And because these are the waters I'm now starting to swim in.
Yes, and
most independent motion pictures and most plays completely fall apart at the end if they're written by Americans. You know why?
Why?
Because our country has never had a third act.
Oh,
it's just this pubescent country that is only beginning, and so no one here has a sense of how things ever end.
Okay,
except now, suddenly, democracy has, if it's lucky, 11 months left.
Yeah.
Let me do the math. Yep, 11 months.
Okay.
And so now we actually do see how America dies, and the fringe benefit of that will be the dramatic writing's about to get a lot better.
Ooh, I hope so.
Yeah, we're going to get better second acts and third acts and stuff like that.
Oh, I'm dying to see Don't Look Up. That that.
Oh
one,
yeah.
That could be it. That could be the first one,
maybe, of the future.
What is your wife tale?
I hope he didn't. I worry that I somehow accidentally ganged up on Sarah, whom I adore, in that last segment. And
this
Sarah,
may be the last time we ever do this segment. I knew I was broaching infertile ground with this one potentially. I thought there might be some fights coming after this.
Oh,
one.
this is like Dadception. You remember where it was like how we are turning or not turning into our parents, or like
and I was like, my parents listen.
Right.
My wife listens. What am I going to do when she starts hearing? I don't, but let's just recontextualize and reframe.
Let's reframe
what we're trying to do here.
Reframe the game.
Yeah, none of this is all about us understanding ourselves. This is all about our place in the world.
This is our journey.
This is not. We're not looking to blame anyone.
No,
I'm looking to like examine a disconnect that I had with another person, and understand how I can grow. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I'm looking to do here.
There you go.
It's not Sarah's fault. No. Sarah's just living her best life.
She's living her best life. She's doing a bang up job.
I wish I could not be fucking self-deprecatory. I wish I was out there just being like, I'm pretty good. I do things pretty well. That
is kind of amazing. Sarah has this stuff strutting that I have seen when she was playing in that band with Roston, and she was playing keyboard. Colleagues.
Yes,
they were great. I like that song.
Band, yeah.
House Guest. I like that song.
Yeah.
And or House Guests could have been plural. Yeah. Anyway, and I saw their live show, and she was playing, and at one point the music stopped, and she was like, "Can you guys hear my keyboard?" And everyone was like, "Yeah, I think so." And she was like, "I'm playing it now." And, and then you hear the sound guy be like, "Oh." And it was awesome. She was so like pro about it, and such a badass on the stage.
That's sweet. So see, this starts out as a bitch session, and it turns into a love session.
Love session.
Yeah.
If only it. Yeah.
Tell me about your wife.
Let me tell you about my wife.
Yes.
She's a lovely gal.
Yeah. Can I read what you have written here? Because it says, Wimley represented the opportunity to stop being a fibber tug-a-gibbet.
I was writing very quickly.
That's a man who is typing on his phone. Wimley. So tell me about Wimley.
Wimley walked into a party this one time.
That's Wilford Brimley, the short. That's like that would be his celebrity or his celebrity couple.
Oh yeah,
Wimley, like Wimley. Wilford Brimley and like Wilma Flintstone. If they got together, Wimley. Sorry.
And she helped me with my diabetes. So what should happen? But Emily walks into this party in 2008. And she's the most confident human being I ever laid my eyes on, right?
She projects confidence.
She projects a lot of confidence.
Yeah.
So here's the thing, though. So before I met Emily, and I'll explain what that word flibbertigibbet or whatever
Yes.
you just read. Until I met Emily, I was a fucking flibbertigibbet.
Okay.
You know what I did for fun?
No.
Eat nachos.
That sounds fun. What are you?
It's not
Are you
fun.
saying this is a bad thing?
I mean, no. I mean, it was fun.
Okay.
Nachos are fun.
Yeah.
For the whole family.
Yeah. You are an unserious person? Is that what you're trying to say?
I was not a serious person.
Okay.
I ate nachos. You know what else I did? I went to bars.
Yeah.
And I think that's it.
Yeah.
And then I would come home to my Hobbit house and I played fucking Halo 2.
These all sound lovely.
I mean, it kind of kicked. It did kick ass, and I also had a hot tub in that place.
Yes.
Did you ever come? You came over.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I didn't come to your oyster party. I don't know what did I have to stay home with the kid or something like that? Sarah came to your oyster party.
The one where the hot tub
was that your 40th
going?
birthday?
No. Yes.
oysters
Yeah,
and-
that was in the next place I lived. That was in Silver Lake.
That sucks.
Yeah. Oh, you weren't there.
No.
You know what though? That 40th birthday party was a disaster. I could now get into it with the
For
whole
you?
Emily thing. Yes.
Okay.
It was a disaster because I wanted to shuck oysters and serve martinis. I wanted to be oysters and martinis.
That's what you're doing.
And the night before, I was like, Emily, I need to hire someone to shuck the oysters and make the martinis.
Yeah.
And she kiboshed it. She was like, no.
You're going to do it.
I was like, I'm going to put an ad on Craigslist. And she's like, the fuck you are.
So you just worked the whole time?
So I worked the entire time. I was behind the bar the entire night. I didn't celebrate my
That's not
40th
a birthday party.
No, it wasn't at
That's
all.
a- that's
I
a-
want to have another one because
Yeah.
I am owed one.
I love it.
Because martinis and oysters are very high maintenance. And,
Yeah.
and there were tons of people there.
Yeah.
And it was the last party I think I ever had also.
Oh, wow. Well, of course. You shucked so many oysters. You're like, I can
I was
never
like,
shuck
I
again.
can't. Is this what a party is now?
That was a great
Anyway,
idea, but
it was a great idea. But I needed to hire someone, and then we talked about it in therapy. And I don't know. She walked back. Why she objected? That was a bit of a conflict. We had a really hard time when we first got married. Let me walk it back a little bit and I'll tell you why we had a really hard time.
Okay.
So I was a fucking flibbertigibbet.
Yeah.
And Emily represented the first grown-up
Yeah.
that I might ever have dated.
The stabilizing force.
The stabilizing force. She was
That's the one you marry.
woman. That's the one you marry. Like she
Yeah.
walks in the room. It's not like you hear a thunderclap when the person you're going to marry walks in the room.
Right.
The thunder stops.
Ooh, interesting.
And the thunder stopped. Like she walked in the room and all the thunder stopped.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh. And she's a fucking grown up
Right.
and is giving me the time of day for some reason.
Right.
And goes to the library and cooks for herself and her house isn't full of takeout containers.
Interesting.
And she doesn't have some dumb aspirations in the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
And she's not she doesn't have the dream gene. She's a serious person who does serious shit.
Right.
And is normal and great and has friends, and her friends are interesting and they're all like artsy but serious, and everyone's serious, and they have dinner parties and no one laughs the entire time. They're talking about serious shit. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And so I got to
You're
win.
losing me a slight bit on this.
Well,
but okay.
Stay tuned because so I'm like, well, obviously I need to grow. This is my growing edge, and
Right.
I need to learn how to be a serious person and a grown up.
Yeah.
And as we fell in love, I was like, oh, so obviously this is the woman for me, which she is, and so.
Sure.
And it sounds like I'm saying that with a qualified tone.
Yeah.
But I then went about trying to metamorphose myself
Yes.
into a grown up.
Okay.
And I
You're
did it.
play acting at being a grown up.
Yeah, while I tried to kind of have a quickening in which I would be like, I haven't been in a library in 10 years. I don't go to the dentist, all
Right.
this kind of stuff. Oh my God, suddenly I'm a grown up. Now I'm going to grant you I was 35 when we got together.
Yeah.
So it was high time
should
I
have
did this
been,
kind of stuff.
yeah.
I should have already been like this, and I shouldn't have been the big old like dummy that I was. Anyway, so for the next 7 years, we've been together like 12 years.
Yeah.
For the next 7 years, I frantically tried as hard as I could to become a grown up and a good roommate. I've never been a good roommate.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I was an awful roommate. Like trashing the place, just awful. You would never have wanted to be my roommate.
Yeah.
I was
No,
a baby.
we would not be hanging out today if
We
you were
wouldn't.
my roommate.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
I only lived with my siblings because they had to tolerate me.
Right.
It was just terrible. And anyway,
Yes.
So I grew up as fast as I could, but I did it on the back of what was our burgeoning relationship. And she has had to exude a lot of patience in order to put up with my sort of galloping nonstop to catch up to where she already was as an adult.
Sure.
And some things have come to light. One is I could only get so far. I am a flibbertigibbet, Jeff.
Oh, that's great. No, I think it's good to accept that about yourself. You can't spend your life pretending to be someone you're not.
I can't. I tried as hard as I could. I am not that much of a grown up.
Yeah.
I'm a bit shallow.
Right.
I do enjoy the library, though. I've come around on that.
Okay.
And now I know a couple recipes. I can cook for my son.
Sure.
She leaves town for weeks at a time. I used to be thrown by that. The house would fall apart.
You take care of things.
Now I
business.
can. Now so I've gotten it together. Basically,
I think this episode is called "Taking Care of Business."
Taking care of business. Yeah. while deep frying my peanut butter and banana sandwich on the airplane.
Yeah.
Airplane with the whatever. So. It was a trip, man. It was really hard, and and coming together. It was really hard to come together as me, a fucking man baby, and her, a serious person who should be dating Boutros Ghali or Kofi Annan or something like that. You know?
Yes.
Her last boyfriend was 14 years older than her.
Ooh, wow, really?
Yeah.
That's interesting because I feel like usually like that's a predilection. That's like a
she has a type.
Yeah.
For like the older fella.
The older fella.
I know, and I used to run into this guy.
Is that why you're going deaf to turn your wife on?
Kinda. Yeah, getting all these injuries, so I'm hobbled all the time.
Right.
I got fitted for a hearing aid, by the way.
Oh yes, I think you told me that. When is it coming?
Well, I have to. I'm very gun shy about these kind of purchases. I have to just pull the trigger.
They don't. It's not covered at all.
Oh no, not at all. You pay thousands and thousands of dollars for these things.
That's rough.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Okay, but keep going.
So anyway, and I used to run into him because he lived nearby for a while, and I would run into him in the pool locker room.
The 14-year-old gentleman?
Glassell Park pool.
14-year-old gentleman?
Yeah,
okay.
Well, now he's 14-year-old gentleman,
yes.
Exactly. So he's now in his late 50s. And I would run into him in the pool locker room of the Glassell Park swimming pool when we'd all go. Like Oscar and Emily would be out at the pool, and I'd be like, "Be right there."
Yeah.
Oh, hey, person's name.
Yeah.
And there he is, naked, built like a fucking brick shit house.
Yeah.
Giant penis.
Oh,
friendly, funny, handsome.
Oh, yeah. I don't care for this guy.
I know. Yeah. And so anyway, so he was like,
"Hello,
and
Hughes."
And we'd shake hands. We're naked.
What do you say?
Shaking
"Hello,
hands.
Hughes."
Hey. No, he's super friendly and great and like dear.
Oh, the guy you want to be.
The guy you want to be.
Yeah.
So in any case, she chose me instead. And
well, that's good.
Here we are.
I'm sure he had his own problems.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
But the last thing I'll say about this is that I haven't said much about her. I've only talked about myself this whole time. Here's what I'll say about her.
Yeah.
I had this knee-jerk reaction every time she would predict something.
Yeah.
Or say something like, well, we should really have a look at this because in a couple of weeks it's going to break down or something like that.
Yeah.
And in my head, every time she would say something like that, these logistical conversations, I'd be like, bullshit in my head.
Right.
Come on, what do you know? You know?
Yeah.
I used to run a theater company. I know a thing or two about these
and
dweezil
then she was
japs.
always right, wasn't
And
she?
she was always right.
Oh,
always right. Always.
fuck.
And eventually, 7 calendar years into our relationship, I was like, she is right more than she is wrong, and I just have to fucking suck it up.
You have to suck it up. That's what you learn.
And my spirit broke.
That's the best.
And we've been happy ever since.
That's good. And now you just do what she tells you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've
That's
been like,
excellent.
yes, dear.
Yeah.
But I recognize that I don't know why she knows a lot more about the world than I do.
Yeah.
I do know why, because I'm a flibbertigibbet.
And she is a citizen of the world.
She is.
In a way that no one I know is.
No.
I know I know a couple who work for the State Department, and they're citizens of the world.
Oh, yeah.
They
She
go
has
all
shot
over the place.
on 6 continents.
That's crazy.
It's
That's
insane.
Yeah,
It's insane. She's been
that's
weightless
crazy.
on a weightless airplane. She's been at the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah, your wife is just far. She deserves better.
She deserves a lot better.
Both of our
than me.
wives do.
I vegetable peeled my fucking finger off.
I
can't even cook.
like a dope.
Like a dope. And
Yeah.
she's always coming home to me being like, I hurt my finger. And she was just spending the day, with Lady Gaga or something like that.
This is the last time we're doing this fucking segment. That sucks because
I feel terrible
that
about
was such a good theme song. Such a good theme song for this one.
Yep.
What am I hearing?
My dog barking because I laughed.
Oh. Stop laughing. Let's move on to the next segment.
I think we have to.
Yeah, my God. I feel like we've brought everyone down. Let's do Get Off My Lawn. This is going to be a fun one.
Oh, yeah. Get off my lawn.
Hey kids, get off of my lawn. Your fucking lawnmower is turning my lawn purple, and I don't want a punk rock lawn. Yeah.
This is the fucking kids. The fucking kids today.
The
my
kids
friend.
today. Don't even get me started.
This is I might give you a little heat on this one, my friend.
Oh, give it to me.
There's something that happened a couple of weeks ago. I went to see one of my favorite bands, Dr. Dog, which we talked about.
I love those guys
on the air. And you named some song that you were like, "That's the hit."
Oh yeah.
And I said, "I don't think that's the hit." And you're like, "Well, that's the one that Spotify told me was the hit."
Yeah,
I think that was your
Spotify
response.
won't stop playing it for me.
And then later, I was talking to my sister-in-law, and she saw my Dr. Dog shirt, and she said, "I love Dr. Dog." And I said, "Really?" And she like named some song, and I'm like, "I don't even know that song." It's off of like there's like their first 3 albums are like you know they're fine, but they're like they really picked up like around album number 4.
Oh, interesting.
And, like they're one of those bands. And I like the first 3 albums, and they have good songs on them. But it was just interesting. It's interesting to me that we are living in this world now, and I don't know what to make of it. I haven't entered this world yet, but we are living in this world. I mean, everyone's getting their like ended whatever it's called, the Spotify served or whatever, like your list of
Wrapped.
There you go. Yeah, Spotify Wrapped. We're living in this world now where the algorithm has become the method by which you discover things, and it is. I fear that it's substituting for taste or personal. Like, what did I write down for? Taste or knowledge, like that, the quest for knowledge that I would have to go on when I was a teenager looking for music.
Yes.
It was so intense. Like to just like seek something out and find it and get it and hear it and put it in my ears, you know? And like now it's just all served up to you on a platter. And is it even your taste anymore? Or is it like whatever, like the robot thinks you should enjoy?
Oh yeah, the whole idea behind Silicon Valley is the tail wags the dog eventually.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And then can you develop taste in a vacuum? Like, if you don't have like the shitty songs on the radio that you're hearing nonstop in your parents' car, like how do you know what's good? And is it good to always have what you like? Like that's the only thing you can get. Like if you can't, you're not forced to watch, Wings, on Saturday night in your on your parents' TV or whatever.
Paul McCartney. Do you mean the Nantucket Airport sitcom or the Paul McCartney band?
The Nantucket Airport sitcom. I'm just trying to think, or like Bosom Buddies. Like you don't have that. Like there's no point of comparison anymore. All you're watching is shit that you love.
You love Wings?
No, I'm saying that's the example of the shitty thing that we would have to watch growing up because there's nothing else on TV.
Oh yeah,
and then you develop a palate off of like, oh wow, well I've seen this, I know that this kind of sucks, and like now, do teens even get the things that suck ever? Right.
Or are they filtered away from them? Are they ushered away quietly and killed behind the dumpster before the teen is ever even exposed to them?
Yes.
I have to stop everything and say that there was a really funny episode of Wings where they were at a party in Boston and Gunther was playing the piano, but the only song he knew was the theme song for Entertainment Tonight.
That's amazing. Look, nothing against Wings. Nothing against Wings.
Or Nantucket.
It had Tony, what's his name? Tony Shalhoub was on Wings.
Was he? Oh, that's right. He was the mechanic, right?
Yeah, we can't disparage Wings too much. But I think we can agree it is like an also ran in probably the sitcom Hall of Fame.
Yeah. It's like Dear John.
There you go. Yes, there you go. That's a good one. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Which I loved.
Yeah, I mean, these shows had their moments.
The John Larroquette Show.
The John Larroquette Show, that was good. That was a good also ran.
And also ran.
Yeah.
There's no Night Court, of course.
No.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
So I hear what you're saying.
Like,
Like
come to this algorithm thing.
yeah, I feel complicated about this because my horizon has been so horizoned by the Spotify algorithm.
Right.
I have a more intimate relationship with the Spotify algorithm than I do with my wife or son.
Because you're constantly clicking yay or nay.
Yeah, years of investment, and it has shown me songs I never would have discovered. It has shown me parts of myself that I never would have known.
Right.
My love of 70s gospel. I had no idea was in there.
Interesting. Well, I mean, that's the thing. It's like, that's the question I struggle with. Like, is there anything innately more noble about getting turned on to music by your sister's boyfriend? You know?
Right.
Like, what is it? What is this? What am I nostalgic for? Is it really something worth being nostalgic for?
I know I bring up Hunk Papa all the time.
Sure.
And I bought it.
Throwing Muses.
For
those of us who aren't familiar.
The legendary time period when it was Kristen Hirsch and Tanya Donnelly.
Yeah.
Tanya Donnelly, I hope you're listening.
Were they ever not together in Throwing
Oh, maybe
Muses?
they were. No. Maybe that was always them together.
Yeah.
What am I?
Until Throwing Muses broke up.
Yeah, I thought maybe Tanya went off with Belly, and then Kristen Hirsch had a solo album, but then went back and did some more Muses with her. I don't know.
Okay, that's possible.
I got to read the 33 and a third on this section.
Yes, maybe you should.
Tanya Donnelly just came out with a new album, which is quite wonderful.
Oh, excellent.
Anyway,
good on you, Tanya.
Good on you, Tanya. That's what it's called.
Oh, that's what it needs to be.
So I bought Hunk Papa because my friend Pat bought it.
Yeah.
And he was like, you got to listen to this. Pat is now Murmur.
Okay.
Or
the guy with the giant arc of pee.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah. He and I were both into Throwing Muses. The same guy. Great memory.
Okay.
And we were at HMV, I think, and we saw like, oh, look, there's a big like lit up poster for Hunk Papa. I guess everyone's buying the Throwing Muses record today.
Yeah.
And my older sister was really into the rock scene and stuff like that. So I just wanted to be like cool. And so I was picking up on things to buy.
Yeah.
I bought Hunk Papa. I put it in and I listened to it and I was like, having a hard time.
Note unheard you bought.
Note unheard, of
Yes,
course. I bought
absolutely.
it. I just knew I was supposed to buy it.
You were compelled.
And I spent $12 or $15.
$12.99.
$12.99.
It ended in 99.
I'm sure it did.
Yeah.
And I took the subway to Harvard Square to go to HMV in the first place.
Yes, you did.
I'm all of 14 years old, 15 maybe.
Sure.
It is hard to come by that amount of cabbage.
Yeah.
For a 14-year-old.
Sure.
Buy it, go home, put it in, listen.
Right.
And didn't like it at first. I mean, it was an acquired taste.
Yes.
But then, like the Pixies...
You're like, I have it. I bought it.
I
might as well keep listening to it.
Exactly. And then I was like, got to do it again. And so then but over time, like Goodbye Cruel World by Elvis Costello, other albums, it grows on you and it teaches, it's like a stinky cheese.
Yes.
It teaches you what is delicious about it.
Yes.
And it is an acquired taste, and I'm very proud of having learned how to love Hunk Papa.
Yes. Sonic Youth's Daydream Nation. It took me a year. I bought that thing because it got good reviews like at the end of the year, and I was into reading music magazines at that time. Like, I bought this thing and I listened to it and I was like, this is evil. There's something evil inside of my tape deck. I can't do this. This isn't me. I can't do it. And I turned it off, and then the next day I'm like, maybe I'll check out that evil thing again. It took me a full year of listening to unpack it and be like, I enjoy this now. And it was such a pleasure.
Yeah,
such a pleasure to
you go to your tape
something.
deck and you're like, I am choosing My Bloody Valentine.
Yes.
I'm not doing this because I need vitamin like difficult R.
Right. Yeah. Captain Beefheart,
well,
Trout Mask replica is spinning for me in my grave.
I don't know if I never received the gift of Trout Mask replica.
Yeah, there are a couple. I've warmed to a little bit of it.
Yeah.
Hi yella guru.
There's Metal Machine music, of course.
Yeah, I've never actually even heard that one.
Oh, and eventually, of course, everyone buys Lester Bang's book to read all of his rock reviews.
I never cared for that guy. He was a little overrated in my opinion.
Interesting. Didn't he fake his own death?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe. Seemed a little like angry. I I don't know. There's all that rock and roll myth making. I feel like is a little bit like I've grown a little too old for that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And we talked about that. Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's true. It's like, okay, but David Bowie, he was also a man.
Right. Yeah. Who slept with underage girls?
Did he? What would Iman have to
Runaways.
say about that?
Well, he matured as he grew. He became a better man in his old age. But all those 70s guys were fucking 14-year-olds.
Wearing moo-moos and
They're all
just
disgusting.
hiking them up.
Yeah, they're out. The only reason we just like, I don't know why we let Led Zeppelin, why Robert Plant is still walking the earth. He hasn't gotten Me Too'd. Guy was sleeping with groupies left and right.
Me Too didn't extend to rock and roll bands.
No one really got called out, did they?
It's almost as if it's known that like on the road.
Yeah, you're just gonna sleep with a
It's
child.
just God. It's so dark to think about.
It is dark, but if we were to we would be Me Tooing like literally every legend, like from the Beatles to and whoever, like Tom York probably.
Are you? Oh God, I know.
Yeah.
Tom York.
Holy moly!
That's Walt.
Jesus.
Yeah,
That was terrifying.
that's scary. Walt, calm down.
This dog just leapt at the door of Brendan's garage in a fit of rage.
He hates my Tom York impression.
Yeah, I could tell. Wait, have we done both of our... Should we move on, or have we done your... Oh, we haven't even done your Get Off My Lawn. For Christ's sake. We need to button this up, man.
Let's button this up.
Okay.
Here's the thing about the kids these days, Jeff.
Yes.
What they're doing is they're giving each other a lot of help. They help each other through the TikToks and the Instagrams. They give each other self-help all the time. Everyone is dispensing self-help. Everyone is offering each other support.
No.
It's a wonderful thing.
Except the alt-right kids. Then there's also people
also
slitting their wrists because of how horrible social media is.
There are the trolls also, certainly.
Sure.
But with these algorithms, like TikTok algorithm, you don't see that shit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's the world of hate that is sort of cordoned off, where if you like to hate things, you're shown into that nightclub and everyone's just hating stuff and being awful to each other.
Yeah.
And then there's everybody else, and everyone else is just being like, I see you, you're doing a great job, that kind of thing.
This is only on TikTok, you're saying, though.
I guess so, but I don't know, maybe it's how things are presented to me when I go on the internet.
Maybe Instagram is like that, too.
Yeah, it's all just very
Twitter
hippy-dippy.
and Facebook are horrible. Horrible.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
cesspools.
Facebook is a fucking cesspool. Don't even bother.
Yeah.
And Twitter is just stereo instructions. I still don't understand how anyone uses that thing. But in any case, it's all very lovey-dovey, hippy-dippy. You know what I mean? And it's all very, like, everyone sort of...
That sounds nice.
It sounds nice. And they're all helping each other out. And they're like, when you go into that job interview, just remember this. 3 things to remember. And they're just giving it away. And you go to their channel and they're like, I'm here to help you... Whatever,
Sure.
And so, you may be wondering, well, this sounds wonderful. Why is this in Get Off My Lawn?
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, Jeff.
Okay, do tell.
Because, I'm from Boston.
Yeah.
And in Boston, everyone makes ruthless fun of each other.
Yeah.
Like, just endless fun of each other. Like, it is brutal how much everyone teases each other. And it makes it a little tough.
Yeah.
And I worry... I think it's wonderful and everyone's helping each other out, but I worry that we're all going to lose our sense of humor.
Interesting.
If everything's getting more and more off limits in terms of comedy, we're just going to be so boring. You know what I mean? Like eventually it'll be any opinion that has too much spice to it. That is too interesting. Eventually it'll be about how interesting an opinion is.
Yeah.
That is objectionable. And then you're like, okay, so what are we really doing here? Like if we insulate ourselves from each other's opinions, then we just all become narcissistic non-people.
But how can you say that at the same time as telling me that like you watch TikTok for an hour a night just laughing your ass off with glee?
I do.
There's more humor in the world now than ever before.
Maybe you're right. Oh, actually, and you know what? It's very self-deprecating.
There you go.
Wait a second.
Turn it inwards.
Thank you,
You're
Jeff.
turning it inwards.
That's what it is. People are very... actually, I saw a very funny one last night where a guy's laying in bed and he puts a fan on and then he is also outside the window and he's like, no! no. And the caption is future me watching the first time I put the fan on to fall asleep. And he's like, no, don't do it.
See, there you
because
go.
he can't get out of the
Hilarious.
prison. Once you sleep with the fan on, you can never not sleep with a fan on ever
That's
again.
true,
And it's
yeah.
really funny. And it's like a great. So maybe that's it. Maybe it's like they're self-helping each other and they're not teasing anymore. And as you're saying, and they're just doing this self-deprecating humor. And maybe I'm the asshole.
No, you're not the asshole. I just think I mean my assumption is that, and I've seen things like that people wrote in the 30s, like comics about like how you can't say anything anymore. Like I feel like this wave is just constant. Like people who used to be funny aren't funny anymore, and they get angry.
Oh,
And that's just and then that somehow becomes a narrative, and like, but people are
Right.
still just being funny as hell out there.
it's just a new. Yeah, you're right. They just lose their edge and they blame everyone else.
That's right.
Because everyone loses their edge.
Yes.
Look at a Spielberg movie from the 70s, then look at a Spielberg movie from the aughts.
That's right. I hear West Side Story is quite good, though.
Did you hear that?
I'm curious to see it.
I'm also curious.
Yeah. We'll see what he does with Tony and Maria.
Here's what Steven Spielberg is very good at:
Yeah.
light.
Light. Light. The light of lighting light.
Lighting light. The way that cat uses light
Yeah.
is phenomenal.
Is that him or is that who's his
Whoever his
cinematographer?
gaffer is. His gaffer
is it Big
is.
New? No, what's that guy's name?
What's that?
Who's the cinematographer?
Deacons?
Is that no? I thought maybe.
Oh, I don't know.
That was Zabignew or something.
Is a big. Oh, maybe.
Something. Yeah. Well, no. I mean, you know, I'll you know, I'll give it a shot. It's how every Spielberg movie. We've talked about this though. Like, I feel like every time one comes out, people are like, "This is it. He's back," and then I go see it, and I'm like, "Ah, God, that's garbage."
Yeah.
He lost me at a certain point. Mm-hmm. Catch Me If You Can, I think, was the last one I enjoyed, and that was a trifle.
Yeah, I wonder. Well, but this is the thing, and this is also true. I contend of your Paul Thomas Andersons, your the other Wes Andersons,
Yeah.
your certainly M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dongs.
Sure.
They as they progress and get more successful, they absolutely lose their edge. Noah Baumbach,
They get up their ass.
They get up their ass, and then they can't tell a story anymore because because the bar is lowered and lowered and lowered and lowered until
Interesting.
they think they shit ice cream.
Interesting. You know, I don't disagree with you. That's a common artistic trajectory. Mm-hmm. I still quite liked Phantom Thread. That was the last P.T. Anderson movie, I think.
I'm gonna
And
give
I hear
that another
Licorice
try.
Pizza is good. But I agree with you. Get off my lawn. Fuck you. These kids aren't funny. This isn't good.
Except it turns out you were right and I was wrong. I'm sorry, kids.
Maybe.
Kids, get on my lawn.
Yeah. Get back on the lawn, kids.
Get back on the lawn.
What if you were the old guy who like was trying to get kids to come on your lawn? I think you might be. People might avoid you even more than the guy who's telling them to get off their lawn.
That's the reverse psychology.
Yeah.
I want this is Dad Jeans first. I want a punk rock lawn.
Yes. All right. Tonight I'm gonna have to change the theme song. Let's do our final segment. Daddy likes to watch.
Oh yes.
This is we're gonna tell you about some things we enjoy watching. Shall we?
Daddy likes to watch.
Daddy likes to watch. Daddy likes to watch.
Two things. Number one, I went to see Encanto,
Oh.
the newest Disney movie.
Yes, of course.
I didn't even know going into this thing because I'd seen the preview. Hazel showed it to me. Hazel had been dying to see this movie. Like I'd never seen Hazel excited to see a movie before. And Hazel was like, I have to see Encanto. And I was like, awesome. All right, we're going to do a family movie. Like how exciting. We're going to go back. They've got their first vaccine. Like
Nice.
We can do this. We can go back into the theater. So we went to the theater and we saw Encanto. And I didn't even know this going into it. But you know, Lin-Manuel Miranda did the music.
I didn't know that.
I had no idea. There were 8 Lin-Manuel Miranda songs.
Oh, wow.
And they were fucking great.
Wow.
They were fire. Like one of these songs is like George Costanza with Master of the House. We're just walking around singing it 24/7
Oh, my
hours a day
God.
now. It's so goddamn catchy. The music was so good. The story, there was no villain in the movie. Like there was this family lives in this enchanted house and they all have magical powers and the main girl doesn't have magical powers. And the way that the previews portray it is that she goes on a quest to find her magical powers. But that's not the story at all. Like, the story is that the house starts losing its magic, and like the girl has to figure out why, and then she like sort of spends time with her family and just goes on like this very inward journey sort of.
Oh wow.
And it's not even Sarah's take on this is that it's a feminine movie. It's not the hero's journey. It's a feminine way of telling a movie.
Oh wow.
And I just I loved it. Like, I thought it was like hilarious, and there was a lot of stuff that like maybe didn't hold up. Like, if you put it all together, and I've heard a couple of reviews, and people are like, it's very interesting. Or I've read reviews, and like, it's very interesting how people are feeling about this movie. Like, to me, it was one of those things that like, it just, the sum of its parts, like it just came together into something quite wonderful, but it wasn't maybe like you could pick it apart. Like, there are things that like one person's power is that they when their mood affects the weather, but it doesn't affect the weather for the entire town. It just affects the weather over their head. And I'm like, why is that a stupid power? But like but whatever, that's a quibble. Like, it was just a very like lovely story, and like the music was great, and like the kids loved it, and it was just such a fun night at the movies. So I highly recommend it, and I'd be curious to know, do you get screeners, right?
Not anymore.
Oh, okay. Emily doesn't get screeners?
No, neither of it. She's not in the union, and I used to be in one of the unions, and I'm not anymore.
Oh, but you have friends who give you screeners.
Oh, yeah, we do, yeah.
You get screeners. I mean, I'm assuming you won't go to the theater to see this, maybe.
Oh, I might.
But
you never know.
I'm very curious to hear, I would be very curious to hear your take on it, especially that idea of the plot not being like the classic hero's journey.
I love that. Yeah, so it's not the Aristotelian map of the male human consciousness.
Exactly.
I'm going to go out, do something, come back, bring the elixir.
Yes, swing
seize
my dick
the
around.
sword. Yeah.
Yeah. But like the reviews don't know what to make of it, some of them. And I feel like actually like the reviews written by women are like this movie a lot more than the reviews written by men.
So interesting.
Like, they're judging it by the wrong criteria. It's really interesting to see.
That is interesting. Oh my God, it's amazing.
Yeah. So I love that. And then the other one that I need to talk with you about, because you said Emily worked on this, is The Vow.
Oh yeah.
Which is, you watched this, right?
I watched it. Yep.
So it's about the Nixium cult, which is like they were a sex cult. But so the thing I loved about this show, first of all, like it didn't feel exploitational to me in the way that like a lot of things about cults are.
Yeah.
Do you remember it? Like, did you watch it a while ago?
We watched it like 2 years ago, but I loved it, or whenever it came out.
Okay. So first of all, like I watched the first episode of this thing, and I was like, and I didn't know really much about this cult. I hadn't read about it or anything. And they're just like talking about like, they're going through like what the cult believes. And I was like, oh yeah, I agree with all that. I was like, oh yeah, I could be in this cult.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I was like, yeah, that actually, like, they're really smart. Like, yeah, I love all this stuff, because it wasn't like a religious cult. It was like a self-help improvement.
Right. Exactly.
And it was all like,
it was like the landmarks, the forum.
Right. Which I don't know much about, but it's similar.
It's the same thing.
It's the same thing. And it, and so like, then like they take a while to reveal sort of the darkness behind it. Like, at first you're just like, okay, yeah, that doesn't seem bad. Like, that seems like, yeah, there are these people who are looking to improve themselves, and like they're learning how to be like men, learning how to be more emotional with each other. Like, that's wonderful,
Yeah.
It's all this stuff that
yeah.
I believe in. And it was, and so, but then it's just like slowly revealed, and like the fact that like it was just very tastefully done. And then also like one of the guys in the cult is a filmmaker, and so he had everything captured.
Yeah. Like
the amount of material they had to construct this story was just fucking amazing.
Did you see his movie, What the Bleep Do We Know?
I did several years ago. It didn't make a huge impression on me, but I remember people really liking it.
It was very good. Liz Beckham was totally into that movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I feel like maybe that was after he was in Nixium, and I feel like when the movie came out, like, I don't think he was in Nixium when he made the movie, but like when I saw the movie, I remember reading something about it that it was somehow like some kind of culty, or it was like there was something a little bit like disingenuous about it.
Oh yeah. Oh, I wonder.
But I don't know. I haven't seen it. I saw it once years ago.
Yeah.
I remember it being. It was like the Celestine Prophecies or something.
Yeah,
like
right.
This
Same
massive
vibe.
market, like religious philosophical thing that maybe had like a darker edge behind it or something.
Yeah. Yep.
But
exactly.
yeah. But so what did Emily do on this?
She shot one of the interviews.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you remember which?
Yeah.
Was
Have you seen the whole series?
I
now?
watched the whole thing.
So, do you know there's the mother, the California mom of one of the members,
Catherine Oxenberg.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that she kind of rubbed me the wrong way. At least I don't know what she's like as a real person, but her character, the way it was portrayed and edited, really rubbed me the wrong way.
Interesting.
It felt very reality TV. Like she changed the tone, a little self-aggrandizing, and she
inserted herself into this thing.
Yeah, and made it reality-ish. Like she brought the whole tone into a Kardashian place. Like, because I think she just speaks that language. She's like, well, what one does with one's family is Kardashianizes it,
right,
or something. I could be completely wrong, but in any case,
interesting. Sarah had a similar reaction.
I don't know why, but my skin would crawl when her character would come on the screen because of the ways in which it felt like a performance.
Interesting.
But anyway, there were a bunch of scenes in, I think, her house, which is probably somewhere in Calabasas or something, with her and the filmmaker guy, and the woman from Vancouver, maybe one of the women. There was three people. Oh no, his wife,
Bonnie,
who played
Star Wars
Aunt Beru, young Aunt Beru. Emily shot those.
Oh wow,
the scenes in the kitchen.
There was a lot of that.
Yeah, she only did like 2 days, but
really?
Yeah.
Oh. Cool.
Yeah, but there you go.
Huh.
Yeah.
How about that? Yeah. No, I was very impressed with how it was done. It was very refreshing to see something that I didn't feel was like it just didn't have that standard. I mean, there was not even it almost in a way like left me like I wanted more. Like they didn't do the standard wrap up at the end. Like
it's
it
a
just
cliffhanger,
ended.
right? Well, there's going to be a season 2.
Oh, there is.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
All about the trial.
Okay. Oh, I assumed that it was all going to be. Oh, wow. Oh,
did you then follow the news? Oh, you probably. Well, I watched it, and then there was a bunch of stuff in the news about this. Well, after it came out.
I mean, I knew. Was that after it came out? Like, I remember when the story broke.
The story, no. There's been a lot of like national news events about the whole situation since the first series aired.
I haven't. I feel like I should. I know?
Don't wait.
I don't want to know.
No,
more.
wait for the season to just be surprised.
Is that weird that I just don't like? I'm not gonna like check in on reality because I can't wait to see it on TV.
Oh, I think that's how you're supposed to do it.
Okay. Amazing. Brendan, what do you like to watch, Daddy?
Well, here's the thing. Here's what Daddy likes to watch. We spend Thanksgiving not having Thanksgiving. Instead, we took turkey sandwiches to the goddamn movie theater.
Oh, and how about you?
But it was turkey and stuffing and cranberry sauce between 2 slices of bread that we spirited into the AMC at the Brand.
I love it.
And we saw Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Shoot. Oh, how was it?
Great.
Really?
Super fun.
Really?
Yeah.
I've heard like very mediocre reviews of it.
Oh, it's great. We had a blast.
That's awesome.
I mean, the plot like is a bit of a head. Sometimes you're like, wait, 1 + 1 equals 5?
Yeah.
You know, there's certain things, but it was great. It was like a zany romp, which is exactly what
Jason
you want.
Reitman can make a movie that flows.
Yeah, he propped it right the hell up. I mean, the script, I'm sure, could have used a little bit of something maybe, but the Jason Reitman treatment made it just fine.
Oh, that's fun.
A lovely experience. Anyway, so I watched that. I recommend
with
it with
Oscar
your
as
children.
well?
Yeah, it was me, Oscar, and Emily. If it was just me and Emily, I wouldn't have liked it.
Yeah.
But because the three of us went, it was a yuck fest. We were laughing hysterically.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because I watched it through his eyes, kind of.
Yeah.
And then I watched a couple of independent motion pictures.
Okay.
I watched I Think We're Alone Now with Peter Dinklage and Elle
I don't know
Fanning.
if I know that.
It's very good.
New?
It's like an apocalyptic story from like 2 years ago.
Okay.
I think it hit the art houses for like 2 weeks.
Okay.
And then it was very good. I liked
Elle
it.
Fanning is quite good.
Yeah, she's good.
Yeah.
And Dinklage, he's
That guy can do no wrong.
He was very good. In any case, it's a story about like everyone died in a town all at the same time, and he's the only survivor, and like he lives in the library and kind of just is cleaning up the town and thinks everyone else is dead. She turns up and then is like, "What are you doing?" Anyway, and it's sort of like this whole thing. This is one of the movies where the end of it kind of falls apart, I guess, because Americans can't end movies. But even so, even as I watched the ending kind of fall apart, I was like, I don't care. This is still awesome.
Oh, nice.
This is a very enjoyable experience. And then today or this morning, I watched Thumper.
Ooh, don't know that one either.
It's so good. It's about Long Beach teenagers doing drugs.
Okay.
And a narc who's trying to like find the cook who's like making all the shit and bust it all up. It's excellent.
Huh.
And then, so I watched
Is
these
it like
movies.
a kids kind of movie?
Yeah, like kids, exactly.
Okay.
Gritty.
Gritty.
And I go to, and it's like an undercover cop that's in too deep and all that.
Okay.
But then anyway, I watch these movies and I'm like, I have a great time watching this.
Yeah.
Then you go to Rotten Tomatoes and people fucking destroy these movies.
Oh, see.
And I'm like, well,
you can't have any fun.
you can't have any fun. And
Can't have
people
any
are
fun
like,
anymore.
well, that's not how the zombie apocalypse is supposed to work. You know what I mean?
come
Like,
on.
and they're just all so I, a person who is about to hopefully enter that world, and oh my God, I'd kill to have the opportunity to be reviewed.
Sure.
If you want to stick around, I could show you the first 5 minutes.
Oh, sure.
I'm terrified now because they'll be awful to it, no matter what.
Dear. Oh, dear.
They're going to be terrible.
Well, you're talking about the people or
The reviews, the reviewers, and the
reviewers
are just going. They're just going to
They're
destroy
gonna
the movie,
dismantle it. Not if it's good.
even if it's good.
Even if it's good, you think nothing gets good reviews?
Well, that's what I start. Well, everything gets half an hour. I'm sure it'll get some good reviews, but
Yeah.
there'll be just people out there who just aren't satisfied because they won't be satisfied.
Well,
with
that's
fucking
true.
anything.
But yeah, you don't read those.
Don't read them.
Just don't count any chickens. Just look forward to getting some reviews.
I'm sure Zack Snyder is a nice guy, and he made Watchmen, and I fucking hated Watchmen, and I wanted to run outside the theater and tell everyone going into the next showing, don't spend your money on this piece of shit.
Why'd you hate it?
I don't know why I hated it so much, but I really, really, really hated it. And
It was like not enjoyable, right?
yeah, it was just it was full of hubris.
Oh,
was
okay.
my sense. It was very hubristic.
Okay.
And I just got the sense that he was part of the whole like suburban supremacy of the suburban narrative, like rich private school kid intelligentsia that have taken over the film industry.
Okay.
And so therefore I resented it. But was I right? I don't know. But I was one of these people who was like full of fucking hate.
Yes.
And I'm sure he's a nice guy.
Sure.
But you go see a movie and it's yours to fucking hate.
He seems like a shitty director, though.
I think it might be.
Everything I've seen by that guy is a garbage.
Okay, thank you.
Flaming
I'm not
garbage.
alone.
You're not alone.
I'm sure he's lovely.
Fine. He's
Anyway.
fine. Who cares? I mean, this guy's getting fucking $200 million budgets. Like he doesn't need our support.
No, certainly not.
He's doing just fine. He can
Wait till you see what I did with 1/500th of what you just quoted.
Oh, I can't wait. What about this movie, The Humans?
Oh, my movie's exactly like The Humans.
That's what I was reading about, and I was like, oh, this sounds like
It's
similar to
precisely.
Din Din.
It's the exact same movie.
Is that okay?
It's fine. Two gas stations at the same intersection.
Yeah, it could be the maybe I don't know. It could be a boon. It could be like The Time. Like this is the year of dinner party movies.
This is the year of dinner party movies that were plays.
Yeah,
And
there
then
you go.
became movies. Yeah. I know Jane Howdyshell. I worked with her. She's the mom in that. And she's an unbelievably gifted actress who's huge in New York theater.
Uh-huh.
And I don't remember. She was in Garden State. She was the blind woman in the waiting room in Garden State. Anyway, she pops up in these tiny roles.
Yeah.
And finally she's getting a big role. And she's so awesome.
Oh, great. Well,
Keep your eyes peeled.
It looks curious. It looks something I'm curious about.
Could be pretty good.
Shall we end this, Brendan? Because I want to see the first five move-its of your mommy.
Of my mini.
I want to move it on your mom.
Yeah, let's do this. Let's end it.
Okay.
Jeff, I
sounds
just
good.
want to say, Jeff Dinsmore,
Yes.
Thank you for being on deck. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you. You're welcome. I've told you it's your show now. I want no part of it. This has been wonderful. I feel like I've worked through some things tonight, Brendan.
And I have as well.
All right. Well, good night, everybody.
Good night.